Don't start college without doing this. The Graduate's Survival Guide. Imagine standing backstage before the biggest performance of your life, your heart pounding with a mix of terror and thrilling anticipation. You can hear the murmur of the audience, a world of new people waiting beyond the curtain, and you have every right to be there. This book is your backstage pass, your script, and your personal pep talk all rolled into one powerful guide. The transition from high school graduate to successful college student is not about magic. It is about preparation that transforms anxiety into excitement. Your summer is a quiet gift of time, a peaceful runway where you can build speed before you take off into the vibrant chaos of campus life. We will use these weeks to construct your foundation of confidence, control, and skill. Let's turn your nervous energy into focused fuel for an incredible launch. Think of two students moving into their dorm rooms on the same sunny August day. One feels a knot of panic, wondering if they packed the right things and if they will ever find their people. The other feels a calm buzz of readiness, knowing they have a plan for their mind, their time, and their work. The difference is not luck or innate talent. The difference is the secret weapon of preparation. This guide is that weapon, forged from the experiences of those who stumbled so you can stride. We are going to tackle the inner game of confidence, the practical system of time, and the smart strategy of academics. You are not just going to college. You are launching a deliberate adventure where you are the author. Let's begin writing your first, confident chapter right now. Chapter 1. Rewire Your Brain, From Graduate to Freshman. Leo sat on his new dorm bed, the plastic mattress cover crunching under him, as his roommate animatedly talked about his high school robotics team. Leo's own story, being a great friend and a reliable yearbook editor, suddenly felt small and unimpressive. He smiled and nodded, but inside he felt like an imposter wearing a college student costume that didn't fit. That night he called his best friend from home and spent an hour reminiscing about the old lunch table, a deep homesickness aching in his chest. The high school you is a beloved character, but this is a new story requiring a bolder protagonist. Your first mission is to honor your past without letting it dictate your future, to pack those memories with care but not live inside the suitcase. The campus is a library of unwritten books, and you are both the author and a main character searching for your plot. The single most important shift you can make is to see every unfamiliar situation as an adventure, not a test. A challenging assignment is not a judgment of your worth. It is an intriguing mountain trail inviting you to climb and see the new view from the top. A crowded dining hall is not a spotlight of judgment. It is a bustling market of potential friends and stories waiting to be discovered. Start practicing this adventurous mindset today in your own neighborhood. Take a different route on your walk, order something new at your favorite cafe, or watch a documentary on a topic you know nothing about. Your brain builds pathways based on what you practice, so let's practice courageous curiosity. Your new identity is not something you have to earn through perfect grades or instant popularity. It is a truth you can choose to claim from your very first day. The three-part mantra is your key. I am a learner means your primary goal is growth, not perfection. I am an explorer means you will seek out new ideas and connections with an open heart. I belong here is not a reward for achievement. It is your birthright as a member of this academic community. Write these phrases on a note card and place it on your mirror. Say them aloud every morning until they feel as true as your own name. This simple act builds a mental fortress against doubt. Let's try a quick exercise to cement this shift. Think of one worry you have about starting college. Maybe it's making friends or handling tough classes. Now, deliberately rewrite that worry as an exciting question. Change, I'm worried I won't make friends, into, I wonder who my first real friend on campus will be. Transform, I'm scared I'll fail chemistry, into, I'm curious to discover how I'll overcome my first academic challenge. This reframing pulls you out of fear and into a state of active, engaged anticipation. It places you in the driver's seat of your experience. You will have moments where the old, familiar insecurities creep back in. This is completely normal and human. In those moments, do not fight the feeling or criticize yourself for having it. Acknowledge it politely. Hello, old fear of not being good enough. I see you, but I'm busy building my new life now. Then, take one small, physical action that aligns with your new identity. Send an email to a future classmate you connected with online. Read the first page of a textbook for a class you're excited about. Lay out your clothes for the first day of orientation. Action is the antidote to anxiety. Finally, understand that everyone around you is navigating this same identity shift, even if they look calm on the outside. The student who seems so confident might be fighting their own internal battle with homesickness or self-doubt. Your shared journey is the hidden thread that connects your entire freshman class. By choosing to rewire your brain for growth and belonging, you are not just helping yourself. You are contributing to a campus culture of kindness and courage, one positive thought and one brave action at a time. You are ready for this upgrade. Chapter 2, Speak with Power, How to Talk to Anyone on Campus. Maya watched her professor gather his notes at the end of the lecture, her heart hammering against her ribs. She had a question about the reading that genuinely confused her, a perfect opportunity to connect. But her throat tightened, her mind screamed that her question was stupid, and she sat frozen as he walked out the door. Later, in the bustling dining hall, she spotted a group from her philosophy class laughing together. She longed to walk over to ask if she could join them, but her feet felt glued to the floor. She ate alone, feeling invisible in a sea of thousands, convinced she was the only one who didn't know how to connect. The barrier was never her intelligence or her worthiness. It was simply a lack of a reliable, practiced script. Let's build that script together, starting with your 60-second self-introduction. This is not a formal speech or a recitation of your resume. It is a friendly, engaging hook designed to start a real conversation. Picture this. Hi, I'm Maya. I'm from a small beach town, so I'm already missing the sound of the ocean but thrilled to skip hurricane season. I'm really interested in environmental science, and I'm on a serious mission to find the best breakfast burrito on campus. This introduction offers a fact, a relatable human feeling, and an open-ended, fun mission. It gives the other person multiple easy avenues to respond, transforming a moment of pressure into a moment of connection. Practice this in the mirror, then with your family, until it feels natural. Next, we conquer the intimidating professor email. The goal is not to sound like a scholarly expert. It is to be clear, respectful, and professional. Use a straightforward 3-part template, a specific subject line, e.g., question about Week 2 reading for Psych 101, a polite greeting, your concise question or request, and a simple thank you. For example, Dear Professor Jones, I enjoyed our discussion today about cognitive biases. I was reviewing the reading on confirmation bias and had a question about the study methodology. Would you be able to clarify that point? Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Maya Chen. Clarity and courtesy are your best tools for getting a helpful response. Now let's turn painful small talk into meaningful conversation. The secret is to move from closed statements that dead end to open-ended questions that invite stories. Instead of saying, "This line is so long," you could ask, "What's the one thing here that's actually worth this wait?" Instead of commenting, "This class is hard," try asking, "What's the most interesting thing you've learned in this class so far?" This shifts the dynamic from two people reporting facts to two people building a dialogue. Your curiosity is a gift you offer to others, and it is incredibly attractive. Your power also lies in learning to listen actively, which is more than just waiting for your turn to talk. When someone is speaking, give them your full attention. Put your phone away, make gentle eye contact, and nod to show you're following. Then, reflect back what you heard or ask a follow-up question. If someone says they're from Chicago, you could ask, "What's something you love about Chicago that most people don't know about?" This shows you value their story and deepens the connection instantly. People will remember how you made them feel heard. Finally, embrace the power of a simple, genuine compliment. Notice something specific and positive about someone, their insightful comment in class, their cool stickers on their laptop, their friendly demeanor. A sincere, "I really liked your point in discussion today," or "those stickers are awesome, where did you find them?" is a wonderful conversation starter. It builds immediate goodwill and opens a door. Speaking with power is not about being the loudest. It is about being intentionally kind, clearly curious, and authentically yourself. Your voice is your instrument for building your new world. Let's start playing it with confidence. Chapter 3. Own your space. Confidence in your dorm and classroom. Jake's dorm room felt like shared territory he hadn't fully signed up for. His roommate, Ben, was a nice guy who loved playing loud, explosive video games with his friends online every night until 2 a.m. The glowing screen and frantic keyboard clicks made sleep impossible. But Jake hated conflict. He spent 2 weeks lying in the dark, resentful and exhausted, dreading the return to his own room. In his morning lecture hall, a vast cavern of hundreds of seats, he felt tiny and insignificant. He had an idea that contradicted the professor's point but could never muster the courage to raise his hand, his good thought dying unspoken. He was a guest, not an owner, in his own college life. Owning your space begins with your physical presence. Before you walk into any new room, a classroom, a club meeting, a cafeteria, take one deep, quiet breath. As you exhale, drop your shoulders down and back and stand up straight. Then walk in with a simple, firm thought. I have a right to be here. Make brief, friendly eye contact with one person near the door or give a small smile. This is not arrogance. It is a calm assertion of belonging that your brain and body will believe. Practice this everywhere you go now, from the grocery store to a friend's house, to build the muscle memory. Your dorm room is your first adult home, and it requires clear, kind communication to function. Setting a boundary is not an attack. It is a collaborative step to make shared space work for everyone. Use the feeling, need, request script for tough conversations. Jake could say, "Hey Ben, I'm feeling pretty exhausted in my morning classes feeling. I really need to get better sleep to do well need. Would you be open to using headphones after 11 p.m. on weeknights request?" This approach is non-blaming, focuses on your needs, and proposes a solution. It turns a potential argument into a partnership. In the classroom, owning your space means actively participating. The moment a question or comment flickers in your mind, that is your cue. Do not wait for it to be perfectly polished. Do not talk yourself out of it. Simply raise your hand. Your question might be the one half the class is too nervous to ask. If you are called on and your mind goes blank, it is perfectly okay to say, "I need a moment to gather my thoughts," or "I'm still working that idea out." This shows intellectual courage, not weakness. You are there to learn, not to perform. Your personal space also includes your digital realm and your schedule. Own your time by not automatically saying yes to every invitation out of fear of missing out. It is powerful to politely say, "Thanks for asking. I'm taking a quiet night to recharge, but I'd love to join next time." Own your digital space by organizing your laptop, desktop, and files so you can find anything in 10 seconds. A clear external space fosters a clear internal mind. This sense of order radiates confidence. Finally, remember that owning your space is a daily practice, not a one-time achievement. Some days you will walk in tall and speak up easily. Other days you might feel small and quiet. That is perfectly okay. The goal is not perfection but consistent effort. Each time you choose to sit in the front row, each time you kindly address a roommate issue, each time you ask a question, you are strengthening your ownership muscle. This is how a dorm room becomes a home, and a classroom becomes your personal workshop for building the future. You are the owner here. Chapter 4. Build your failure-proof system. Sophia clicked the refresh button on the student portal for the 10th time, her stomach in knots. The grade for her first major biology exam finally loaded, a red, glaring 58%. A wave of icy dread crashed over her, followed by a hot rush of shame. Her immediate story was absolute. "I'm not smart enough for this. Everyone will find out I don't belong here. I should just pack up and go home." She spent the rest of the day in bed, skipping her other classes, the failure confirming her deepest fears. This was the old system, where a single event defined her entire identity and predicted her future. The failure-proof system we build operates on a completely different principle. A failure-proof system treats setbacks as valuable data points, not as verdicts on your destiny. The first rule is the 24-hour feelings rule. When you get a bad grade, a rejection from a club, or any discouraging news, you have full permission to feel the disappointment, frustration, or sadness. Wallow, eat the ice cream, call a friend from home, and vent. But set a time limit, 1 day only. Do not make any dramatic decisions, "I'm dropping out," during this period. Let the emotional wave crash, and then let it recede. On day 2, you transition from mourner to detective. Put on your investigator's hat and go collect the facts. Get the actual exam or paper back from the professor. Look at it not as a judgment but as a puzzle. Where did the points go? Was it a knowledge gap? You didn't understand a specific concept. Was it a process failure? You ran out of time, misread the instructions, or made careless errors. This analysis removes the emotional sting and gives you a concrete action plan. You are not a failure, you are a solver addressing a specific problem. A critical component of your system is proactively finding your people, your tribe. They will rarely just knock on your door. You must seek them out. Go to the first meeting of 3 different clubs, even ones you know nothing about. Sit in the same spot in the library every Tuesday afternoon and smile at the familiar faces you see. Join a study group for your hardest class, even if you feel like the least knowledgeable person there. Your tribe is not just your friends. They are your support network, your study buddies, your cheering section. They are part of your system's infrastructure. Next, we install the daily confidence routine. 5 small, non-negotiable wins you achieve every single day. These are not huge tasks. They are simple, controllable actions. 1. Make your bed. 2. Do 10 minutes of any kind of movement. 3. Complete 1 small, defined chunk of studying. 4. Send 1 thoughtful text to a friend or family member. 5. Write down 1 thing you are grateful for. This routine does not take long, but it proves to your brain every morning that you are capable, in control, and building a positive life. It creates momentum that carries you through tougher moments. Finally, understand that a failure-proof system is like a safety net for a trapeze artist. It does not prevent you from falling sometimes. It ensures that when you do, you bounce back quickly and can climb right back up. A bad grade is a single event. Your system, your detective work, your tribe, your daily wins, is your ongoing process of growth. Trusting this process is what makes you resilient. It means you are never truly failing. You are always learning, adjusting, and moving forward, stronger and wiser than before. Chapter 5, Your Time Blueprint, the 3-plan system. Imagine trying to build a house by just nailing boards together at random, hoping a room eventually appears. That is what managing college time feels like without a blueprint: chaotic, stressful, and likely to collapse. The 3-plan system is your architectural design for a successful and sane semester. First, we have the big picture plan, your 30,000-foot view. This is your one-time, semester-long map. Gather all your syllabi in a large calendar. With colored pens, mark every single major deadline: exams, paper due dates, lab reports, and presentations. Use a different color for each class. When you step back, you will instantly see the dangerous crunch weeks where 3 red circles and 2 blue squares overlap. This knowledge is pure power, not panic. Forewarned is forearmed. Next is the weekly win plan, your calming Sunday ritual that takes just 20 minutes. Look at your big picture plan to remember what major milestones are coming this month. Then, open to a fresh page in a planner or a simple notebook. First, block out your fixed, immovable commitments: class times, work shifts, club meetings, team practices. These are the rocks in your jar. Now for the genius step. Assign each major academic task from your big picture list to a specific day, not a specific hour. Write Monday, draft history paper intro, and Thursday, complete chemistry problem set 5. This is called day-theming, and it liberates you from hourly micromanagement while ensuring progress. The third layer is your daily game plan, a 10-minute morning routine that triples your focus. Each morning, look at your weekly win plan to see your theme for the day. On a sticky note or a small note card, write down your top 3 must-do tasks for the day. These should be specific and achievable. 1. Read 20 pages of sociology text. 2. Meet with study group at 3 p.m. 3. Email professor about office hours. Then, literally schedule your most important task during your personal peak energy time. Are you sharpest at 10 a.m.? Block 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for that sociology reading. This plan is your daily battle order, clear and direct. This system works because it separates planning from doing. The Sunday weekly plan is your strategic session. The daily plan is your tactical execution. It prevents the awful "what should I be doing right now" paralysis that wastes hours. When you have a plan, you can start your work session instantly, without second-guessing or frantic priority shuffling. You move from being reactive, constantly putting out fires, to being proactive, calmly building your future piece by piece. This feeling of control is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Of course, your perfect plan will get interrupted. A friend will spontaneously invite you to lunch. A professor will announce a pop quiz. You'll just have a tired day. That is why your plan must be flexible, not fragile. Build in buffer zones in your week, blank spaces with no assignments to absorb the unexpected. If your Monday task gets bumped, it can slide into your Tuesday buffer. The plan is your guide, not your prison warden. It is there to serve you, not to stress you out when life happens. Finally, celebrate your weekly wins. Every Sunday, before you make your new weekly win plan, take 2 minutes to look back at the past week. Acknowledge what you accomplished, even the small things. Did you stick to your daily plan 3 days? Did you finish that tough problem set? Did you make time to call home? This positive review wires your brain to see yourself as someone who manages time effectively. It builds the confidence to trust your system, week after week, turning the chaos of college into a canvas you are intentionally painting. Chapter 6. Slay the Time Dragon, Procrastination, Distraction, Overload. Ravi stared at the blinking cursor on his blank Word document, the deadline for his first essay just 48 hours away. He had known about it for 2 weeks. He felt a heavy weight of dread in his chest, but instead of writing, he cleaned his entire mini-fridge. Then he reorganized his Spotify playlists. Then he fell into a 2-hour YouTube hole about the history of the pencil. The dragon of procrastination had him firmly in its grip, breathing the fiery lie that he worked better under pressure. We all face these time dragons: procrastination, the beast of delay; distraction, the sneaky gremlin; and overload, the crushing giant. Here is your night's training to slay them all. Your first weapon against procrastination is the 5-minute jumpstart. When you feel that resistant drag, you do not need to commit to the whole awful task. Just commit to 5 minutes. Set a timer for 5 minutes and open the document, or read 1 page of the textbook, or solve 1 math problem. The rule is you can stop after 5 minutes if you truly want to. 90% of the time, starting is the only hard part. Once you begin, you build momentum, and you will likely keep going past the timer. This trick bypasses your brain's fear of a huge, unpleasant task by making the commitment laughably small. The distraction gremlin lives in your pocket and on your laptop. To tame it, you must create zones of focused work. Use the phone jail method. During a planned 50-minute study session, physically put your phone in a drawer in your backpack or in another room. Turn off all non-essential notifications on your computer. If you need the internet, use a website blocker for social media sites during your work blocks. The gremlin feeds on little bites of your attention: a ping, a vibration, a quick scroll. Starve it by creating a clean environment where your brain can dive deep without constant interruption. Overload, the crushing giant, appears when you say yes to too many things, leaving you exhausted and doing nothing well. The antidote is the powerful, polite no. You do not need a dramatic excuse. Practice simple, graceful phrases. "That sounds amazing, but I'm overcommitted right now and can't give it the attention it deserves." Or, Thank you for thinking of me. I'm focusing on a couple of priorities this semester, so I'll have to pass this time. Protecting your time and energy is not selfish. It is essential for doing your best work and avoiding burnout. You are the guardian of your own capacity. Another Dragon Slayer technique is the Eat the Frog method. Identify the one task on your list you are dreading the most, the biggest, ugliest frog. Do that task first in your day's work session. Completing it gives you an enormous surge of relief and momentum, making the rest of your tasks feel easy by comparison. It also prevents the dreadful frog from sitting on your to-do list all day, poisoning your mood and energy with anxiety. Slay the biggest beast first, and the smaller creatures lose their power. When you feel overwhelmed by a massive project, the dragon of procrastination grows stronger. Defeat it with the Swiss cheese method. You cannot eat the whole block of cheese at once, but you can poke holes in it. Take that huge term paper and break it into tiny, hole-poking actions. Find 5 sources. Write 3 bullet points for the intro. Draft 1 paragraph. Each tiny action is a victory that weakens the dragon. Progress, not perfection, is the goal when you are facing down a monster of a task. Remember, these dragons are not signs of personal failure. They are universal challenges of the modern mind. Everyone battles them, even your most successful-looking peers. The key is not to never face the dragons, but to have a trusted set of weapons and strategies ready when they appear. By using the 5-minute jump start, creating focus zones, saying no, eating the frog, and poking Swiss cheese holes, you are not just surviving your workload. You are commanding it, turning time from a foe into your most valuable ally in building the college experience you want. Chapter 7. Energy is everything. Manage your fuel, not just your clock. Chloe scheduled every hour of her week with military precision. Class, library, club meetings, gym, study group. By Wednesday afternoon, she was a zombie, staring at her notes but absorbing nothing, her brain feeling like static. She was managing her clock perfectly but had completely neglected her energy. Time is a container, but energy is the fuel you put inside it. If your fuel tank is empty, no amount of time management will make you productive. The secret to sustainable success is not to squeeze more hours from the day, but to match your most demanding tasks to your natural energy rhythms. You must become a detective of your own energy patterns. For 1 week, simply notice, when do you feel most alert, focused, and creative? Is it mid-morning, right after lunch, or late in the evening? That is your personal peak energy window. This is your golden time for deep work, your most cognitively demanding tasks, writing papers, tackling complex problem sets, reading dense textbooks. Schedule these tasks ruthlessly into your peak windows. Save low-energy tasks like organizing notes, answering emails, or doing laundry for your natural trough, periods in the afternoon or late night. Strategic breaks are not a sign of laziness. They are a required pit stop for a high-performance brain. The human mind cannot focus intensely for 8 hours straight. Use the Pomodoro technique. Work in focused, undistracted 25-minute sprints, then take a mandatory 5-minute break to stand up, stretch, look out the window, or get water. After 4 sprints, take a longer 15-20-minute break. This rhythm prevents mental fatigue and keeps your focus sharp for the next sprint. Ignoring breaks leads to the slow, hazy burnout Chloe experienced. Your physical energy is directly tied to your mental fuel. You cannot run a sports car on cheap gas. The basics are non-negotiable. Prioritize sleep like your GPA depends on it. It does. Move your body for at least 20 minutes most days, and fuel yourself with foods that provide steady energy, not sugary crashes. A 10-minute walk outside between classes does more for your next lecture's focus than another 15 minutes of frantic rereading. Think of these habits not as distractions from work, but as essential maintenance for your primary tool, your brain. You also need to balance different types of energy drains and renewals. Socializing is energizing for extroverts but draining for introverts, while solo time has the opposite effect. Be honest with yourself about what refills your cup. If you are an introvert, Schedule sacred solo time to recharge after a big group event. If you are an extrovert, make sure you get enough social interaction to feel energized. There is no right or wrong. There is only what works for your unique engine. Ignoring this need leads to the burnout of doing too much of what drains you. Finally, protect your energy from emotional vampires and pointless drama. Some conversations and conflicts suck your mental fuel without any return. Practice graceful exits. I hear you, and I need to go focus on my work right now. Or, I'm not in the right headspace to dive into this today. Your peace of mind is precious fuel. By managing your energy, scheduling deep work in your peaks, taking strategic breaks, fueling your body, honoring your social style, and protecting your peace, you stop running on fumes. You start operating from a place of consistent, renewable power, making your time infinitely more effective and your experience infinitely more enjoyable. Chapter 8: The Organization Edge, Your Physical and Digital Setup. Aiden's dorm desk was a terrifying landscape of half-empty water bottles, crumpled handouts, tangled charger cables, and 3 open textbooks buried somewhere below. Every study session began with a 10-minute archaeological dig to find a pen and his chemistry notes, killing his focus before it began. His laptop desktop was a graveyard of files named Essay Final Realifinal V3, DocX. His disorganized space created constant, low-grade stress and wasted precious minutes every single day. Your physical and digital environment is the command center for your college mission. A cluttered space leads to a cluttered mind. A clear space creates the conditions for clear, focused thought. Let's transform your dorm desk into a productivity zone. The goal is minimalism and purpose. Start with a total clear-off. Then only return the essentials: your laptop, one sturdy notebook and pen for quick capture, a desk lamp, and maybe one small plant or photo for inspiration. Use drawer organizers or small bins to contain supplies like pencils, sticky notes, and chargers. The surface should be clear enough for you to spread out a textbook and notebook without shuffling junk. This dedicated space tells your brain one thing: when I sit here, it is time to work. For your digital world, complexity is the enemy. You only need 3 core tools to rule them all. First, a cloud note-taking app like Google Docs or OneNote. This is where all your class notes live, accessible from any device, never lost. Second, a digital calendar, Google Calendar or iCal for your 3-plan system. Third, a simple file system on your laptop. Create one master folder called College. Inside, have a folder for each semester, Fall 2024. Inside each, have a folder for each class, CHEM 101. Save every file directly to its class folder with a clear name, YYYYMMDD class name topic. This takes 2 seconds and saves you hours of future searching. The crown jewel of your organization system is the Sunday Reset, a 1-hour weekly ritual to own your coming week. This is not a chore, it is a gift to your future self. Set a timer for 60 minutes. First, reset your physical space. Clear your desk, take out the trash, tidy your room, do a load of laundry. Next, reset your digital space. Close all those browser tabs, file or delete downloaded files, clear your computer desktop to a blank slate. Finally, reset your mind. This is when you do your weekly win plan for the coming week. You enter Monday with a clean room, a clean computer, and a clean plan. An organized system also includes a capture tool you always have with you. This could be the Notes app on your phone or a small pocket notebook. Whenever a task, idea, or reminder pops into your head, email Prof. Buy shampoo, great paper topic. You capture it immediately. This gets it out of your swirling mental RAM and into a trusted system. During your Sunday reset or daily planning, you process these captured items and assign them to your calendar or to-do list. This practice prevents the anxiety of forgetting important things. Finally, understand that organization is a form of self-respect. It is saying, my time and my goals are valuable, so I will create an environment that supports them. It is not about being rigid or perfect. It is about reducing friction and decision fatigue so you can spend your mental energy on learning and living, not on searching for lost items. When your physical space is clear, your digital files are findable, and your week has a plan, you carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who is truly in command. This is the organization edge. Chapter 9, Crack the Syllabus Code, Your First Week Attack Plan. The professor clicked through the first day slides, ending on a dense 10-page document called the syllabus. To most of the class, it was a blur of dates and policies to be glanced at and forgotten. But to Zoe, it was a treasure map, and she knew how to read it. While her peers zoned out, she was quietly circling dates, starring key policies, and nodding the professor's email and office hours. In that 15 minutes, she gained a strategic advantage for the entire semester. Your syllabus is not a boring contract. It is the professor's master playbook, revealing exactly how to succeed in their class. Your first week mission is to crack its code. Your attack begins in the first class. As soon as you get the syllabus, whether digitally or on paper, open it immediately. Use a highlighter or digital markup tool. First, find all the major graded assignments, midterms, finals, papers, projects. Circle each due date and exam date fiercely. Next, locate the grading breakdown. What percentage is the final exam worth? Our participation points a significant chunk. This tells you where to focus your energy. Then, find the key policies on late work, attendance, and email etiquette. These are the hidden landmines that can sink an otherwise good grade. Now, move to your master assignment calendar, your big picture plan from Chapter 5. This is where you transfer all those circled dates. Input every single due date and exam date from every syllabus you collect this week. This one act is the single biggest guardrail against all-nighters and forgotten work. You will see the terrifying crunch weeks forming, and you can plan for them in advance. This calendar becomes your Bible. You will consult it every Sunday during your weekly win plan. It transforms a semester of surprises into a known journey with a clear map. Your next first-week power move is the professor meeting. In the first 7 days, choose one class, perhaps your hardest or the one you're most interested in. After class, walk up, introduce yourself, and ask a simple, genuine question. It could be about a point from the lecture, a clarification on the reading, or even a question about their research. Say, "Hi, Professor, I'm your name. I really enjoyed the point you made about X. I was curious about how that connects to Y." This 2-minute conversation makes you a real person, not just a student ID. It builds a connection that is invaluable if you later need help. Also in this first week, identify your class allies. These are 1 or 2 people in each lecture who seem engaged and friendly. After class, turn to them and say, "That was a lot of information. Would you want to swap notes sometime to make sure we didn't miss anything?" This is a low-pressure way to start building your academic support network for each subject. These allies can become study partners, clarify confusing points, and share resources when you're sick. Do this for every class, and you've woven a safety net. Finally, use the first week to establish your routine. Find the best spot in the library for studying, locate the quietest cafe, figure out the quickest route between your back-to-back classes. The first week is a sandbox for experimenting with your schedule and systems without high stakes. By cracking the syllabus code, building your master calendar, connecting with a professor, finding class allies, and scouting your territory, you complete your first week attack. You move from being a passive passenger to the confident pilot of your semester, ready for takeoff. Chapter 10, Note-Taking That Actually Sticks. Alina sat in her history lecture, her hand flying across the page, trying to scribble down every single word the professor said. Her notes were a dense, paragraph-style block of text. A week later, when she opened her notebook to study, it was an incomprehensible sea of blue ink. She couldn't find the main ideas, and rereading it felt like learning the material all over again. She was using the high school method of transcription, which captures information but does not create understanding. Note-taking in college is not about recording. It is about processing and making the ideas your own in real time. You must choose a style that matches the class and forces you to think. Ditch the idea of one perfect note-taking method. Different classes demand different tools. For fast, fact-heavy lectures like many science classes, the Cornell method is your best friend. Divide your page into 3 sections: a narrow left column for cues, keywords, questions, a large right column for notes, the lecture content, and a bottom summary area. This format forces you to actively identify key points during or right after class. For conceptual, discussion-based classes like philosophy or literature, try the outline method or mind mapping. These visually show how ideas branch and connect, mirroring the professor's logic. The magical ingredient is not the notes you take during class, but what you do in the 5 minutes after class. This is the after-class 5. Before you even pack your bag, stay seated for 5 extra minutes. Quickly scan your notes. Use the left column of your Cornell page to jot down the main question each section answers. Circle any terms you didn't fully understand. Write a 1-sentence summary at the bottom of the page about the day's core idea. This brief, immediate review moves the information from your short-term memory into a more permanent storage, saving you hours of relearning later. Your notes are just raw material. The real learning happens when you transform them into a study guide. Once a week, perhaps during your Sunday reset, take your notes for a specific class and actively convert them. Create a 1-page cheat sheet of the week's key concepts, definitions, and formulas. Use your own words, draw diagrams, and connect ideas with arrows. The act of creating this guide, synthesizing, simplifying, and organizing, is a powerful study session in itself. This self-made guide is what you will review before quizzes and exams, not your messy original notes. Embrace technology wisely. Typing can be faster, but handwriting often leads to better retention because it forces you to summarize rather than transcribe. If you do type, use a note-taking app that allows you to easily reorganize and search your notes later. Consider recording lectures with permission as a backup, but never let the recording replace your own active listening and note creation. The recording is a safety net, not the primary act. Your brain must do the work during class to build the initial understanding. Finally, share and compare. Once you've formed a connection with a class ally, propose a brief note-sharing session. Compare your notes with theirs after a complex lecture. Did they catch an important point you missed? Did you interpret a concept differently? This is not about copying, it's about collaborative sense-making. Explaining your notes to someone else is the ultimate test of whether you truly understand them. When your notes are active, reviewed, synthesized, and discussed, they stop being scribbles on a page. They become the living, evolving map of your knowledge, a tool you built yourself that guarantees you will not just memorize, but master. Chapter 11. Read like a pro, faster, smarter, deeper. The textbook pile on Noah's desk felt like a physical wall. His literature professor assigned 80 pages of dense Victorian novel for Monday. His poli-sci class required 3 complex articles, and his biology text was a swamp of unfamiliar terminology. His old method, starting on page 1 and reading every word until his eyes glazed over, was a recipe for wasted hours and zero retention. College-level reading is a triage operation, not a cover-to-cover marathon. You must learn to assess, prioritize, and interact with text so it becomes a conversation, not a monologue you suffer through. Start every reading assignment with the textbook triage system. Never just open to page 1 and begin. First, spend 5 minutes previewing. Look at the chapter title, the section headings, the bolded key terms, and any summary boxes or questions at the end. Your goal is to answer, what is this chapter really about, and what do I already know about this topic? This builds a mental scaffold. Then, based on your preview and the professor's lecture focus, decide what to read deeply, core concepts, assign passages, what to skim, supporting examples, familiar background, and what you can skip, tangential case studies, overly detailed historical context. This strategic approach can cut your reading time in half while improving comprehension. Active reading means you are not a passive sponge. You are an interrogator. Have a pen in hand or a digital note-taking tool open. As you read the deep sections, pause after each paragraph or main idea. In the margin or in your notes, write a brief question the paragraph answers, or summarize the main point in 5 words or fewer. This constant check for understanding forces your brain to process meaning, not just recognize words. If you cannot summarize it, you did not truly read it. Go back and reread that section until you can. Turn the author's monologue into a dialogue. Argue with them in the margins. Write why, or example, or this connects to what we learned in class about, or even I disagree because. This transforms reading from a chore into an engaging, critical thinking exercise. Your textbook becomes a colleague you are having a debate with, not an authority you must blindly absorb. This practice is especially powerful in humanities and social science classes where interpretation and critique are key. Finally, move from highlighting to learning. Highlighting alone is a weak strategy. It often just colors text without embedding it in your memory. Instead, use the highlight to summary method. After you finish an active reading session, close the book. On a separate piece of paper, write down the 3 to 5 most important ideas you just encountered, using only your memory and your margin notes. Then, open the book and check what you missed. This retrieval practice is what solidifies knowledge. The ideas that survive this process, from preview to interrogation to summary, are the ones that become truly your own. Adopt this pro-reading system, and you will accomplish something incredible. You will not just get through the reading, you will engage with it. You will enter class prepared with intelligent questions. You will connect lecture points to your reading instantly, and your study sessions will be reviews of familiar ideas, not first introductions. Reading becomes less of a time-consuming burden and more of an efficient, powerful tool for building expertise. You are no longer a student drowning in words. You are a scholar skillfully navigating a sea of ideas. Chapter 12. Study Sessions That Actually Work. For Liam, studying meant sitting in the library for 3 hours with his books open, his phone nearby, and a vague sense of guilt. He would reread his notes and textbook passages, hoping the information would stick through osmosis. He called it studying, but it was really just time spent near material. Unsurprisingly, his midterm grades were disappointing. Passive review is the illusion of work. It feels productive but yields little. Effective studying is an active, often uncomfortable process of wrestling with the material, testing your recall, and finding the gaps in your understanding before the exam does. Let's design a powerful solo deep dive. First, choose your environment with intention. A clean desk in the library, a quiet corner of an empty classroom, or a dedicated spot in your dorm with phone in another room. Start by setting a specific, clear goal for the session. I will understand and be able to explain the process of cellular respiration, not just I will study bio. Then use active recall. Put all your notes and books away. Take out a blank sheet of paper and try to write down everything you know about the topic. Draw the process from memory, or teach it to an imaginary person. Struggle is where learning happens. Now open your materials and check what you missed or got wrong. Those gaps are your gold. They tell you exactly what to focus on. Use your self-made study guides from Chapter 10. Create flashcards for key terms. Digital apps like Anki are great for this, but don't just flip through them. Actively quiz yourself, forcing your brain to retrieve the answer. For problem-based classes like math or chemistry, do practice problems without looking at the solutions first. The effort of trying, even if you fail, makes the correct method stick far better when you learn it. The study group playbook can multiply your learning, but only if it's run effectively. A bad study group is a social hour with books as props. A great study group is a mastermind session. Keep it small, 3-4 dedicated people. Set a firm agenda and time limit beforehand. Today from 4-5:30, we will work through the practice problems for chapters 3 and 4. During the session, take turns explaining concepts to each other. If you can teach it, you know it. Quiz each other using problems you've each created. The goal is collaborative problem solving, not one person lecturing the others or simply sharing answers. And every study session, solo or group, with a next steps plan. Based on the gaps you discovered, what will you do before your next study session? Will you review a specific textbook section, meet with the professor about a confusing concept, or practice 5 more derivative problems? Write this down. This turns studying from a vague, endless task into a series of targeted, manageable missions. It also gives you a clear starting point next time, defeating procrastination before it begins. Finally, space out your study sessions. Cramming the night before might get you through a test, but the information will vanish quickly. The spacing effect is a proven scientific principle. Studying the same material in several shorter sessions over multiple days is far more effective than one marathon session. Use your weekly win plan to schedule short, active review sessions for each class throughout the week. When you walk into the exam, the material will feel familiar and securely stored, not fragile and recently memorized. Studying becomes a consistent practice of strengthening your knowledge, not a panicked act of emergency rescue. Chapter 13. Conquer exams and papers without the panic. The email subject line read "Midterm schedule posted," and a wave of cold anxiety washed over Sasha. Her calendar suddenly looked like a minefield of red-letter days. Her first instinct was to push the worry away, to deal with it later, but that only fed the coming panic. Conquering major assessments is about replacing that last-minute terror with a calm, early-game strategy. For exams, that strategy is the 7-day prep plan, and for papers, it's a process that banishes the blank page. You will walk into test days and turn in papers feeling prepared, not praying for a miracle. Your 7-day exam prep plan starts a full week before the test, making cramming obsolete. Day 7, 1 week out. Gather all your materials, notes, study guides, practice problems, old quizzes. Create a master list of every topic that could be on the exam. Day 6. Tackle the first chunk of topics on your list using active recall and self-testing. Day 5. Tackle the second chunk. Day 4. Review the first 2 chunks briefly, then tackle the third. Day 3. Do a full practice test or problem set under timed conditions if available. If not, create your own test questions. Day 2. Intensely review everything you got wrong on the practice test. Day 1, the day before, light review only. Look over your summaries and key formulas. Then stop studying. Trust your preparation. Get a full night's sleep. For papers, the enemy is the blank screen and the looming deadline. Start by defeating the blank page. Open a document the day the paper is assigned. At the top, write the title, even a bad one, the due date, and the prompt. Then simply brain dump every single random thought, quote, or half idea you have about the topic. No order, no grammar, just a messy list. This breaks the paralysis. The next day, organize that dump into a bare-bones outline, a potential thesis, and 3 main points. Now you have a skeleton, not a void. The next phase is strategic research and writing. Don't try to write the paper from start to finish in one go. Assign yourself to write just the introduction one day. Then, gather sources for your first main point and write that paragraph the next day. Use the Pomodoro technique. Write in focused 25-minute sprints. Your goal in each sprint is not perfection but getting words on the page. You can fix bad sentences later. You cannot fix a blank page. Write the conclusion early. It often clarifies what your paper is truly arguing. Then go back and refine your introduction to match. The pretest routine is your ritual for the day of the exam. It's about controlling your state, not cramming facts. Eat a good breakfast. Wear comfortable clothes. Arrive early, but not so early that you stand in a hallway of panicked students. Instead, find a quiet spot nearby. Listen to a pump-up playlist, do some deep breathing, or review a single-page summary you made, not to learn, but for comfort. As you walk into the room, carry yourself with the posture of someone who has done the work. You have a plan, and you are executing it. Finally, adopt the post-assessment review not to dwell, but to learn. When you get a graded exam or paper back, don't just look at the score and shove it in your bag. Use your detective skills from Chapter 4. What types of questions did you miss? Was it a content issue or a careless error? For papers, read the professor's comments carefully. This feedback is the most valuable data for your next round. By systematically preparing for exams and papers, you remove the chaos and replace it with a process you can trust. You shift your identity from someone who fears tests to someone who is simply ready to demonstrate what they know. Chapter 14. The 7-Day College Launch Prep, the week before move-in. The final countdown has begun. Your bedroom at home is half-packed into suitcases and bins, a tangible symbol of the impending change. Excitement and nerves are tangling together like headphone cords in your pocket. This week is not for worrying, it is for final, confident preparation. We are going to run a launch sequence, checking each major system you've built over the summer. Think of yourself as an astronaut performing pre-flight checks, confidence systems. Go. Time management programs. Go. Academic mindset. Go. This systematic approach transforms chaotic last-minute energy into purposeful, calm action. Confidence final check, days 7-5. Revisit the mantras and mindset shifts from part I. Practice your 60-second introduction in the mirror until it feels natural. Visualize yourself walking onto campus, finding your building, and introducing yourself to your roommate. Pack a few comfort items from home, a favorite blanket, photos, a mug, that will make your new space instantly feel like yours. Write down your 3 identity statements. I am a learner. On a card to tape above your new desk. Your confidence is not a guess. It is a tool you have packed. Time management system setup, days 4-3. This is practical magic. Set up your digital calendar, Google, Apple, etc. on your phone and laptop. Input your class schedule as recurring events. Download any simple planning app or buy a planner you like. Practice the Sunday reset ritual at home. Tidy your room, plan your week, feel the calm it brings. Pack your planner, pens, and any supplies for your productivity zone. Your system is not abstract. It is a set of physical and digital tools ready to deploy from day 1. Study discipline mindset lock, days 2-1. Pack your note-taking supplies, your chosen notebooks, pens, laptop chargers. Organize your backpack with these items. Create your college folder structure on your laptop. Find your class syllabi online if they're posted and start your master assignment calendar, even if it's just with the dates you know. Practice a 30-minute focused reading session using the techniques from Chapter 11 on any book to remind your brain what deep work feels like. You are not just packing socks, you are packing the habits of a scholar. The social and emotional pack. Intentionally schedule calls or time with your closest friends from home. Acknowledge the bittersweet feeling of leaving, it's normal. Plan how you'll stay in touch, a weekly group text, monthly video call. This gives you security so you don't cling to home from fear. Also, plan your first social move. Identify one club or event from the orientation schedule you will definitely attend. Having a plan removes the "what do I do" paralysis when you arrive. The move-in day plan. Know the route, parking instructions, and check-in time. Pack a separate day 1 bag with immediate essentials: phone charger, water bottle, snacks, a change of clothes, toiletries, your pillow, and sheets. This way you can make your bed and freshen up without digging through every box. When you meet your roommate, use your practiced introduction. Offer to help their family unload too. Your calm organization will set a positive, collaborative tone immediately. The night before launch, do something purely fun and relaxing with your family or friends. Do not try to cram more preparation. Lay out your clothes for move-in day, charge all your devices, set your alarm. Then take 5 minutes to breathe and reflect. You have done the work, you have a plan. You have built a foundation stronger than most of your peers. You are not just going to college, you are launching a mission you have trained for. Get a good night's sleep. Your adventure is waiting. Chapter 15. Your first month roadmap. Apply your skills on campus. You're here. The boxes are mostly unpacked. The parents have driven away and you are officially a college student. The first month is a whirlwind, a blur of new faces, new routines, and 1,000 small decisions. Without a map, it's easy to get swept into reactive mode. This roadmap is your guide to proactively applying your skills, phase by phase, so you build momentum instead of just weathering a storm. We will break it into 3 intentional phases: confidence in action, system trial run, and discipline lock-in. Follow this and by October, you'll be settled, confident, and ahead of the game. Week 1. Confidence in action, talk, explore, join. Your sole mission this week is to be courageously social and exploratory. Use your 60-second introduction everywhere. With your roommate, floor mates, people in line at orientation, students sitting next to you in your first classes. Attend every welcome event, club fair, and free food gathering you can. Say yes to invitations to explore campus, get coffee, or play frisbee on the quad. Your goal is not to find your best friends instantly, but to collect connections. Talk to at least one professor after each class this week, even if it's just to say, "I'm looking forward to the class." You are building your social map. Weeks 2 and 3. Time management trial run, adjust your systems. The syllabi are all in hand and real work is beginning. This is the stress test for your 3-plan system. Hold your Sunday reset sacred. Build your first real weekly win plan with actual assignments. Use your daily game plan each morning. Pay close attention to what works and what doesn't. Is your peak energy time actually at night? Adjust your deep work blocks. Are you constantly underestimating how long readings take? Adjust your time allocations. This period is for fine-tuning, not frustration. Your system is a custom suit. We are now tailoring it to fit your actual college life perfectly. Week 4. Study discipline in the wild, lock in your routines. By now, you should have identified potential class allies in each course. Propose forming a study group for your first upcoming quiz or midterm. Book your first solo deep dive in the library. Actively use the note-taking and reading strategies from Part III in real time. Submit your first paper using the drafting process from Chapter 13. This is where theory meets practice. The goal is to establish your academic rhythm before the major grading period hits. You are moving from figuring it out to getting it done. Ongoing the integration. As you move through this roadmap, remember to balance work with replenishment. Use your energy management skills to notice when you're tired and need a strategic break. Practice saying no to a social event if you need a solo night to recharge. Check in with yourself emotionally. It's normal to have a hard day or feel homesick. It doesn't mean your plan is failing. Use your tools, call home, talk to your roommate, go for a walk. You have a full toolkit, not just an academic one. The Month 1 Review. As you finish Week 4, conduct a formal review. What is your favorite class so far and why? Which club or group feels most promising? Which time management tactic worked best? What was your biggest win? What was one small struggle? Write this down. This review turns experience into wisdom. You are no longer a new student. You are an experienced student with a month of proven data on what makes you successful. You are now the expert on your own college life. Looking forward, with this first month under your belt, you have something priceless, proof. Proof that you can make friends, that you can handle the workload, that you belong. You have a working system and practiced routines. The rest of the semester is about deepening what you've started, strengthening friendships, excelling in your classes, and perhaps even taking on a leadership role. You launched successfully. Now you get to fly. Conclusion: you are built for this. Look how far you have come. You began this summer holding a map to an unknown country, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves about the journey ahead. Now, you stand at the border not as a lost tourist, but as a prepared explorer with a packed bag, a trusted guidebook, and a clear compass. You have rewired your brain for growth, built systems to command your time, and mastered strategies to conquer your academics. The secret is out. Success in college is not a mystery reserved for a lucky few. It is a predictable result of intentional preparation and consistent action. You have done that preparation. You are now that capable person. Trust your preparation, but also embrace the beautiful, unscripted journey. There will still be surprises, a class that captivates you unexpectedly, a friendship that forms in a late-night diner, a challenge that pushes you to discover a strength you didn't know you had. Your systems are not meant to rob you of these spontaneous moments. They are meant to give you the stable foundation from which you can safely reach out and grab them. You have the confidence to say yes to adventure and the control to say no to chaos. This balance is true freedom. Your formula is simple but powerful. Confidence plus control plus discipline equals freedom. The confidence to know you belong and can learn anything. The control over your time and energy to live intentionally. The discipline to study strategically and follow through. This equation does not yield a trapped, rigid existence. It solves for the ultimate prize. The freedom to enjoy your college years, to engage deeply, to explore widely, and to build the life and future you want without being weighed down by fear or disorganization. So go start your adventure. Walk onto that campus with your head held high, not because you have all the answers, but because you know how to find them. You know how to ask for help, how to plan your work, how to connect with people, and how to learn from setbacks. You are not just ready for college, you are built for it. The world inside these pages was your training ground. Now the real, vibrant, incredible world of your college experience awaits. Turn the page. Your story is just beginning. Go claim it.